Welcome back to The Deep Dive. This is where we unpack those, really intriguing stories shaping our world, trying to distill them into insights you can actually use. It feels like the financial world is just constantly changing, doesn't it? Faster and faster. And sometimes the really big innovations, the game changers, they don't come from the usual places like the tech giants or the huge global banks. Sometimes they pop up right where you least expect them. So today we're doing a deep dive into something, truly groundbreaking, I think. It could really reshape how we understand where digital currency is going. And it's heading right into, believe it or not, community banking. The heart of it. We're talking about St. Cloud Financial Credit Union up in Minnesota. They've just made history. They're the first credit union in the entire U.S. to launch its own stablecoin. It's called the Cloud Dollar, or CLDUSD. Now, if you're thinking, okay, what's the stablecoin again in this context? Basically, it's a digital currency, but it's designed to keep a stable value. Usually, like this one, it's pegged one-to-one to something like the U.S. dollar. So its value doesn't jump all over the place like, some other cryptos.
Which is absolutely critical if it's going to be used for, everyday payments and banking, right? That stability is key. Yeah, and our mission today really is to explore why this isn't just some niche story for finance nerds or, a blip on the radar. This feels like a signal, a big one, for a much larger shift in how financial institutions, especially the community-focused ones, are starting to embrace digital assets, actively embrace them. We want to look at what this means for you, for your local economy, and, the future of your money. It sort of challenges that old idea that innovation only trickles down from Wall Street,
Absolutely. And it all centers on St. Cloud Financial Credit Union in Minnesota. They're not just testing the waters here. They've dived in headfirst, first U.S. credit union with its own stablecoin, the Cloud Dollar. Think about credit unions. For decades, their whole thing has been relationships, members first, the faces on Main Street. This move just powerfully shows that, hey, real innovation isn't stuck in Wall Street towers or Silicon Valley campuses. It belongs right here in our communities where people actually live and save. It's about giving local finance the tools to compete.
Exactly. And what's really significant, I think, is that it's not just about a new product they're offering. It's more strategic. It's about credit unions positioning themselves as actual leaders in digital assets, not just playing catch up with the big tech firms. It's about making sure things like trust, compliance, community ownership, those stay central as money goes digital. Because think about the alternative, what we've seen happening. Deposits, liquidity have been moving away from local banks and credit unions. Money flows out to platforms like Coinbase, maybe PayPal, other big fintech apps. But by offering their own stablecoin, credit unions can give members these blockchain solutions directly, keep those relationships, keep that money, that liquidity right there in the local economy. This is what some are calling deposit defense. Makes sense, right? Before, if you wanted some cutting edge digital service, maybe crypto investing or a new payment app, your money might leave your local credit union for one of those big platforms. That liquidity leaves the community. Now, with their own stablecoin, the credit union could hold on to that capital locally. That means more resources for local business loans, mortgages for families nearby. It keeps the local economic engine running. It's a way for them to stay relevant and effective in this digital age.
That's a really powerful point about keeping local economies strong. But, okay, this sounds complex. How did St. Cloud actually pull this off? It wasn't just them, right? You're right, it wasn't a solo act. This needed key partnerships. They teamed up with DaLand CUSO. Now, a CUSO, that's a credit union service organization. Basically, it helps credit unions like St. Cloud get access to new tech and services. And they also partnered with Metallicus. They're using the Metal blockchain. That partnership is what makes this whole thing possible, a fully compliant bank-ready stablecoin that ticks all the regulatory boxes. And maybe we should touch on why the Metal blockchain is important here.
Definitely. It's not just any blockchain. It's built specifically with institutions, with regulations in mind. That means it's got the security, the auditability, the speed, the transparency you absolutely need for a bank-grade asset like the Cloud Dollar. Stuff that's critical when you're handling people's money and dealing with financial rules. It's built for regulated finance, not the, let's say, the early Wild West of crypto.
Okay, so they have the tech, the compliance, but how does this actually fit into my normal banking? Is it like a separate app I have to juggle?
That's a great question, and it's where DaLand's Coin2Core integration comes in. It's key. This isn't meant to be some siloed thing you manage separately. Through this Coin2Core integration, these digital assets, like the Cloud Dollar, they'll sit right alongside your regular checking and savings accounts inside the credit union system. So for members, it should feel seamless. Managing your normal dollars and your digital dollars all in one place, one familiar interface. Imagine transferring funds between your Cloud Dollar balance and your checking account just as easily as you move money between savings accounts now. And this isn't just theory. They're describing it as the start of a repeatable model, a blueprint, really.
Right.
One that other credit unions, maybe even regular banks, could follow. It shows how digital and traditional finance are really starting to merge in a user-friendly and secure way.
That seamless integration really does sound like a game changer, bridging that gap between traditional banking and, the digital future. But this didn't just happen in a vacuum, right? There was some regulatory movement involved.
Yeah, it lines up perfectly with something pretty crucial that happened recently on the regulatory side. Clarity. We're talking about the Genius Act. It passed back in July 2025. And that act basically gave financial institutions the green light to issue stablecoins responsibly. It cleared up a lot of the uncertainty that held banks and credit unions back before.
Right, before the Genius Act, it's kind of a messy patchwork, state rules, federal interpretations. Very hesitant environment. This act provided a clear, unified framework, defined stablecoins, laid out the rules for issuing them, and connecting this back, that regulatory clarity, really cements that deposit defense advantage we talked about. With a clear path, credit unions can now confidently offer these digital assets, keeping that liquidity local, stopping it from leaking out to external platforms where maybe the oversight isn't as tight or aligned with traditional banking safeguards. And the really exciting vision here, the blueprint they talk about, imagine thousands of banks, thousands of credit unions, each maybe with their own stablecoin, a River City dollar, a Green Valley coin, whatever, all connected seamlessly through compliant US-built systems like this digital banking network. It's not just a pipe dream. They see it as the blueprint for how decentralized finance could work within a trusted, regulated system. Think about what that enables. Instant, almost free transfers between different credit unions, even across states, using stablecoins on one network.
Faster payments for businesses, easier ways to send money for families, just a much more efficient system overall. But crucially, keeping the trust and the oversight people expect from their local bank or credit union.
That vision, thousands of connected stablecoins, is definitely compelling. But, with any new financial plumbing, especially digital stuff, people worry about security, oversight across all those different institutions, protecting users. How does this blueprint address those concerns? Or are there still big hurdles?
That's a really important point. And it's something the underlying tech, like the Metal blockchain and this digital banking network, is designed to tackle directly. The whole compliance-first design of Metal blockchain means transactions are auditable, they stick to strict rules, it gives you transparency, accountability. And the digital banking network itself, think of it as a trusted layer that makes sure all the stablecoins connected to it follow the same strong security rules and legal frameworks. The goal is kind of like a walled garden of compliant digital money, where the risks are way lower than in, wide open, unregulated crypto markets. Now the challenge, scaling that to potentially thousands of institutions while keeping everything equally secure and compliant, that's the hurdle. But the foundation laid by the Genius Act and these partnerships, it's built to try and solve exactly that.
Okay, so let's make it practical. If I'm, say, a small business owner there in St. Cloud, maybe even a member of the credit union, how could a system like this actually change my day-to-day? Could I get paid instantly in cloud dollars from a customer at another credit union on this network, skip the usual bank transfer delays?
Exactly. That's precisely the kind of practical benefit this blueprint aims for. Imagine a customer banks in another credit union, maybe in the next town, also on this network. They pay you in their stablecoin. Let's call it the Maple Grove coin. Because the network connects them, it instantly settles as cloud dollars in your account. Just like that. No more waiting days for ACH transfers. No weekend holdups. Maybe even lower fees than credit cards. It speeds up cash flow for small businesses massively. Simplifies payments between different banks or credit unions. It just opens up new ways for local economies to work. Makes them faster, more connected. This really feels like a new era of, let's call it community-led innovation, where local institutions use blockchain not just because it's cool, but to actually serve their members better. Faster, safer, more integrated services tailored to local needs.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for us, for you listening? As we finish this deep dive, the core message from all this release seems clear. This first U.S. credit union stablecoin, the cloud dollar, it isn't just a tech milestone. It's sending a powerful message. And I think there are three key takeaways here. First, innovation belongs everywhere. It's not just for certain cities or certain types of companies. It can and it should come from the communities it serves. Second, it shows that, yes, regulation and creative tech can work together. They can build new, secure paths forward instead of always being in conflict. And third, maybe the biggest takeaway, the future of money might actually be written by the institutions we've trusted for generations. Our local banks or credit unions now armed with these powerful digital tools.
Which leaves us with a really interesting thought for you to mull over. What does this kind of distributed, community-led innovation actually mean for your relationship with your bank or credit union? What kind of new digital services might you start expecting from them soon? Services that are maybe both cutting edge and built on that foundation of trust you already have. And thinking bigger, what possibilities does this unlock for local economies? For how money moves around your town? And for your own personal financial control in this increasingly digital world? It suggests the future of finance isn't just happening out there in some abstract cloud or dictated by a few giants. It could be happening right around the corner, powered by the places you already know. Your local institution could become your gateway to that digital financial frontier.
Really interesting things to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Main Street's digital leap. We hope you'll keep exploring these fascinating shifts in the financial world right along with us.